Hey guys, welcome to the RoundTable. Here at the RoundTable, we continue the conversations that we have had from Sunday morning and how you can have practical ways to help every person take their next steps towards Jesus together. Hey guys, welcome to episode 60 of the RoundTable. We have two special guests today, and I am super excited about it.
Well, it even started good. Did you see Mitchell right when it started?
What did he do?
He looks over at Ashley and goes,
Did he really?
Yes, that's
so
what I'm saying. The
cute.
charmer himself.
Yes, yeah.
Look at him.
I'm Jenny Walker, the social media ministry leader here at Life Church.
Mike Hill, lead pastor, and we have our special guests with us this week. So if you guys want to introduce yourself, Mitchell and Ashley, introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about you guys.
I am Mitchell Gerber. I'm in college for electrical engineering technology.
Oh, wow.
And
Why did you say, oh, wow?
That's intense.
Electrical engineering technology?
Yeah, I just heard engineering.
Oh. So if you're an engineer, you're a brain.
I think
right?
so.
Is that what it means? Like you're a
I
brain?
feel like it.
His homework is so confusing.
Yeah,
like every time he shows it to me, I'm like, okay, what in the world are you
it's
doing?
a lot of thinking, yes.
Yeah.
But the technology is more hands-on. So.
But that's what you've always been interested in is engineering? Or did you just go down through and say, which one pays the most?
I know.
That one, I'll
No,
take that
I
one.
didn't. I've always liked engineering.
Really?
I like puzzles and thinking and stuff like that.
So you could make it on Survivor.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yeah. You'd be the
I'd
puzzle
probably get
guy.
a parasite, but I'd make it.
You've already done with that, so you would be good.
Yeah, once you have the parasite, you're not going
Yeah.
to get it again, are you?
No, but I can get other ones.
No. I
But
think
you've
you're immune
prepared
to 'em.
yourself.
Yeah, once you get your gut all seasoned up, that's
Yeah.
why the hills never get them. You don't wash your
Have you had
hands.
one?
No, I've never got it. Everybody that's come and work for us tends to get it, but I don't know.
Do you think
So
you're just
weird.
like immune just from being there so much or what?
I've always said this, if you don't wash your hands and you just,
What?
you build up this immunity
Okay,
to
that-
germs
yeah.
that you don't worry. All these people that are clean freaks get sick all the time.
That's very true.
Yeah.
True.
I
That
kept
is
telling
true.
Mitchell, I'm like, okay, please wash your hands. Because every time we would come like over right after work, I was like, oh my
I
gosh,
did.
your hands. Like they just smelled so bad.
And you're probably afraid to get the parasite too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we
Well,
tell
that
it-
was before you
Yeah.
got a parasite.
Oh.
They just smelled like poop. I was
I did
like,
wash them. I washed them a lot.
I know, you would wash them like 8 times when you came over. I'm like, okay.
Which is
Still
funny.
smells, but at least they're clean.
Because we tell everybody, like, okay, if you're going to break babies, because you stick your finger in their mouth and you get them to drink and then
Okay.
you teach them to drink out of a bucket. We tell everybody this, like, none of us have ever got it, but everybody else tends to have something with it. So wash your hands. So,
I washed
wild.
them, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
Apparently didn't do much for
Oh
me.
my gosh.
Yeah,
that's
maybe some people are just more open to
susceptible.
getting a parasite. But
Maybe.
anyways, you've always wanted to be an engineer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how far along are you in school?
I'm a sophomore. After next semester, I'll be a junior, though.
Oh,
I started a semester early, graduated early.
Oh,
went
okay.
to college early.
So you're ahead of
Wow.
the game.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay. And
Whole
which one?
semester.
And which one of you guys are going to announce the big news?
Yeah.
You
Right.
go for it.
We got a puppy.
That was good.
That was a Christmas.
We are engaged.
Yes, I want to know the story, like
Well,
how
wait,
it
before
happened.
the story, how have you set a date?
Yeah, we actually
Yeah.
was it last week
Yeah.
or something? Like
Really? When is it?
that? June 10th.
June 10th. Oh, so like a year from now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you will still be in school.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be like carrying the load.
Yep.
Yeah. Carry
She's-
it on my back.
Wow.
You got it.
Wow.
You got it.
Right here.
And you don't think you'll have a problem with that being married and going to school?
Like, in a financial aspect?
No,
I
just
know.
from a balance aspect.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, it's going to suck. But,
yeah.
but I mean, I want to get married. It's going to be difficult. for
How would
sure.
it be different than like what they're doing now besides living together?
Well, I'm just going by what Sherry said because when Sherry and I are like planning, so as soon as I graduated college, we got married that summer, but she still had a whole nother year of school left.
And that made it hard for
And
her.
she was like, it was the worst year of school she ever had.
You're
because
really
it was
putting
like,
us on a
I
positive
know.
track.
I just
This
said
is really
what she
positive.
said.
Of your
She
life.
was like, it was the worst year just because you want to do all these things together. I mean,
Oh.
you're together all the time. You're married. Nobody wants to come home and do homework, but
That's true.
maybe that's different.
Yeah. I got a lot of homework.
Yeah.
I do like 6 hours.
Wow.
6 hours of homework?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
puke.
lot.
That's terrible.
That
And
is
that's
terrible.
why the dog's great for me because he comes over and
Yeah.
I just play with the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the dog stay?
Mitchell's
My house.
Really?
All the time?
Most of the time.
Sometimes they'll come over, but well, you bring them over when you come over usually.
So have you guys decided where you're living or any of that stuff yet?
Yeah, so that's all starting to fall into place.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Where I work, the owner, she has an apartment right above it, and it's like in Huntington, like in the downtown area of it. And so we got to look at it, and it's so cute.
Those are so cute down there. The downtown apartments. My mom had one right around that area. Actually, it might be the same one.
How do you know? She didn't even tell you
because
the
I
area.
know where she works.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's amazing because you just got that job and I don't know, it's just literally everything is falling into place because it's like meant to be.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got goosebumps. That's so good. It is because she just got that job and you were just you just redid that room, you know, and it just all worked out.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in the apartment.
They told us too that they weren't renting it out to anybody else because they weren't planning on renting it anymore at all. They've only had 2 people living there, and the last person, 2 people that have ever rented it, and the last person that was living there literally just moved out, and she had been there for 8 years. So we're wow, what are the odds type thing. So yeah, it's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Ashley, tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll go into you guys together.
Okay, so Ashley is my name. And,
Dorsett.
Dorsett.
Yeah, don't forget
Soon
your
to
last
be
name.
not though.
Soon to be, yes. And I don't really.
You're a massage therapist.
Yes, I'm a massage therapist.
Yes, you are.
What else is about me?
Have you always wanted to be a massage therapist?
No.
So what happened? How did you get into that?
Well, so I did go to college for 3 weeks. Didn't like it at all.
I feel you.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, I know. Us too.
Not for me.
No.
Which I always thought it would be, but no. And so then I was like, okay, crap, what am I going to do? Because I don't want to just waste money going to school if I don't know what I want to do. And then we had this flyer thing up on our refrigerator from over the summer. Was it over the summer? Yeah. And my mom had gotten it for Peyton because she was like, she's going for PT, so she could probably just do this over the summer.
That's cool.
Because it's a 4-month program. And then Peyton had no interest in it, but it just sat on our fridge forever. And every time I'd walk in the kitchen, I'm like, oh, maybe this is something I could try. And then went to school and worked in hospitality at Woodhouse while I was at school. And then ended up switching to the therapist side of it once I got done with school. And then ended up doing my own thing. So, yeah.
And that's super cool. I mean, you have your own business. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How did you come up with the name?
So that's the thing. Love me a good pun. But,
Okay. Yes.
But I base it off of in 1 Corinthians 12 because it's for we are the body of Christ and each one of you is a part of it. So it was perfect for me because I never knew what I wanted to do, but I knew because it goes on to talk about your special gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
And with massage, I never would have thought oh, this could be something that I can use with my gifts. And so, yeah, it just worked out perfect. So, yeah. I never thought I'd be able to use my gifts in that type of way. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing it?
So in
I forget how long you've
August-
been out of school or out of your training.
I started school January 2021 and then started doing it, I'm trying to think, April would have been 2021. And then, so it's been over a year, but I've been doing it almost a year, on my own now. So.
Yeah. When you left Woodhouse. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, and we'll get more about you guys as we do this, but one of the ongoing themes that we've had over the last few podcasts is this whole idea of how should young people date to marry, what does that look like? And so maybe you guys can explain your relationship or when
so
you
excited.
met and how it went, and did you guys date other people? And if you did...
Seriously, I'm so excited because I'm looking to you guys for help, inspiration.
Oh,
I'm serious.
Wait, what?
I'm looking. They have a really good relationship that should be that's how it should be. So
Okay.
I'm looking to them for inspiration.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Or
that's
role
been the
models.
theme. We've been talking about how should it be for young people to date? How do they not make mistakes? What do they look, what should they do? So maybe tell us a little bit about you guys' relationship. And then if you could give your advice to young people, what would your advice be?
take it away, Mitchell. You go first.
Is Mitchell more the talker?
No,
I was going to say.
I literally talk all the time.
That's why I was surprised. I thought you were just going to jump right in and.
Yeah, I lost my voice recently, and I'm like, oh crap! I don't realize how much I talk. Like, I literally couldn't talk. So peace and quiet for Mitchell for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start with like when.
I want to know when you first met.
Started. Yeah.
First started.
We can tell both
I
of
was
ours. So it's
a
okay.
freshman in high school, and I had a reputation.
Freshman.
I was a little bit of a player.
As a freshman?
I know. That's wild.
Middle school
Middle
and
school,
freshman.
Middle
freshman.
school?
Really?
Player boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Comes back from Guatemala and he's like the hot commodity.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well, you know.
Did you get your growth spurt then?
I got a growth
He's always
spurt
had
in
his
like
growth
6th
spurt.
grade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I grew like 10 inches
wow.
my 6th grade year.
Wow.
He was the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always one.
So you had dated,
Yeah.
kind of.
Not in, so at that time it was like serious dating, but looking back, it was not a
Middle
real
school
relationship
dating?
at all. Yeah,
Okay.
Not a relationship. But Ashley had
Never dated anybody but Mitchell.
Really?
Oh,
Ever.
wow.
Yeah.
never even, yeah. So she
You guys are in the same grade?
no,
No.
she's older.
Really?
Yeah, I'm into cougars.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Is she like a year older than you? Yeah.
Literally 6 months.
He loves saying that, doesn't he?
Oh yeah,
I know.
I've heard it so many
Yeah,
times.
I bet.
Like the
Into
Cougars.
older
6
women.
months.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So did you guys go to Crestview together?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I heard of him, but I was
Yeah.
like, don't want anything to do with him.
You didn't want
Really?
anything to do with
Yeah.
the player.
No, even fresh. No, that's a part of it too. So whenever Mitchell first started, because how did you even like hear of me? Like when
well,
you were a
went
freshman.
to church here. You were a cheerleader. I knew
Yeah.
of you.
I knew of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but started out with a Snapchat.
Did it really?
Snapchat, now
Yeah.
looking back.
He
And-
Snapchatted me since August. So it would have been your freshman year, my sophomore year. From August, like the beginning of the school year, till December, every single day
Really?
from that
I
whole
got left on
time.
red like
Every
single
single
day.
day. Because I had already heard of like how he was. I was like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Wait a
You
second,
messaged her every day?
Yes,
Or sent a
the
picture or something?
persistency, that's what got me.
Wow.
Wait.
After being
Yeah.
a player
You didn't
and then going to
answer?
that?
No. There was only like a couple times I ever even answered, and then he would respond, and then I would respond back, and then he wouldn't respond. And I'm like, I'm not playing these games.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Wow.
So
So,
then I
that's
just
how it
stopped
works. So
answering.
talking, that's what he was
That
trying
wasn't
to
even
do.
talking. He was trying to
He
talk.
was
One-way
trying to talk.
conversation.
Yeah, he was trying to get in there.
Very
But the fact that you stuck that out, that's so sweet.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Were you like, did you have somebody on the side and you were trying to get her during this
Well, let's not
time?
hash this up.
No,
or
I'm
hash
just
it
kind of
out.
curious.
No.
Like, or are you just
I'm
really
just-
that patient of a guy? Because you've seen guys like play two people.
Yes. Oh,
right?
yeah. That's
Not trying to put Mitchell out there or
Right.
anything,
No,
but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I was patient.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for an
Wow.
entire year, you snubbed him.
No, not a year. It was from
half
August
a
till
year.
December.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because on
half a year.
New Year's Eve, so Grace Diamond, you probably you know
Yeah.
Grace. So she had a class with Mitchell, and they would always talk to each other. And Grace had a class with me, and I was friends with Grace.
Uh-huh.
And she would always tell me Mitchell was talking about me. I'm like, this kid doesn't even know me. Like, he's texting me, but I'm not answering, so I don't know what he knows. And then she was at my house New Year's Eve of that same year.
Yeah.
And she was like, just give it a chance. I'm like, Grace, I know who this kid is. I've heard of him. Like, no. And so then I finally agreed to it. And then from January 1st till, it was like spring break, wasn't it? That next,
Wow.
like we, actually started getting to know each other. And then I friend-zoned him 3 different times.
Then you what?
She friend zoned me.
You friend zoned him 3
Multiple
times?
times.
Yeah, because I never talked or dated to anybody
That's
else.
true.
So I was like, it was all new
That's
to me.
true, yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't
Yeah, I know, but why friend zone you, even if it's new?
I don't
Nerves?
know.
Were you nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, I was just like, I don't know.
Did you really, really like him? So you were nervous?
Well, I knew I liked him, but like so then after the third time I friend zoned him, then he started dating somebody else. And then when I saw that, then I was like, oh crap, I do like him.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know,
Yes.
I was like, dang it.
You see him with
Too
somebody
late.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then literally not even a month later, he broke up with her because I didn't tell you I liked
Because you came back
Yeah.
and said,
I didn't tell him
The one
because I
that
was.
told me.
But
you
I
knew.
didn't tell him because I didn't want to like get in between it at
Yeah.
all, like not my place. And it was also like I already friend zoned him 3 times, so I mean,
Yeah.
my own fault. But then I think he kind of picked up the hint, and then he literally was like, "Okay, I'm ready for you."
So what did get to know you mean or look like? So get to know you meaning you guys hung out, get to know you like talked, or you just kept Snapchatting each other?
No, like we
all of the above.
we started hanging out and stuff too.
Yeah.
But then we didn't even start dating till like how much longer later? It was a while later.
June. I don't
Yeah,
know how much
something
longer
like
that is.
yeah, it would have been June.
Dating,
So-
meaning like you actually like went out to
Official.
eat or
Yeah,
something.
they're out at Incredibles 2. Super romantic.
Yes.
Aw.
We were with your family too.
With my family.
Hey, that's
Dude,
good
you're my
though.
girlfriend.
That's like courting.
Does that still happen? Like you ask her to be your girlfriend?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
You're supposed
Is
to do
that
that.
like not normal anymore?
He's hung up on this. It's talking, dating.
What are you
and then
talking about? I'm
ask.
hung up on it.
Yes, we've talked about this.
I feel like I
Huh?
heard that in like the last podcast.
Yes, thank
I
you.
don't know what I'm hung up. What are you talking about? I'm
because
hung up
you
on
don't
it.
understand the fact of talking.
It's a friendly.
It's like getting to
it's
know
like flirting.
somebody.
Yeah.
Flirty, friendly.
Yeah, you
conversation.
can't
to
just
know.
jump into dating.
Like you know they like you, but like you're not like dating.
yeah, official.
Yeah, way big difference.
Ew, it
I mean, it's
is. It really is,
Like a
though.
huge difference. Yeah, like you. Now it's official because somebody said, "Will you be my
Yeah.
girlfriend?"
I mean, it's just like asking somebody's dad if you can marry them. Just like that. Official.
Did you ask her dad?
Did you?
How did that go?
Good.
He was expecting.
Yeah, it worked out.
It worked out.
I mean, I think they're kind of
I
expecting
think
it.
Yeah.
that's. I think it's a little bit different than asking the dad.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why? Just thinking like this whole thing. So you're going along, you guys are talking, and then it's just official because somebody says, "Be my girlfriend." Like
Yeah.
that was just something that
I mean,
switched.
you also have to remember this is how we grew up seeing it. Like we didn't know what it was before.
No, I know, but does that like make you when you say that finally? Does that just make you exclusive and like before you weren't exclusive or?
Yeah.
Oh no, we were exclusive before.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
If you
This is
weren't, we wouldn't be together.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like
Well,
if they
I
were
feel like most people in the talking stage they have
Aren't exclusive.
are not exclusive
Yeah.
at all.
yeah, that would be my point. So
Yeah.
if
That is
that's
my
the case, then why do you even call it anything other than flirting?
Well, I guess you could. But
Because
it's
that's
talking.
all it is. You're just a big flirt. You go around and you're
But you
flirt
could
with
flirt.
everybody.
You could flirt at the grocery store. I mean, like this is
No.
talking.
okay. Yeah, it's a huge difference.
It is.
Stupid.
There is. There is.
Stupid. No,
it's
it's
not
not.
stupid.
Yeah, but then once you're like, it's like, hey, we're gonna date. That's like, yeah, we're together until we choose not to be together.
Yeah.
You know, and all the rest of the time we're just gonna flirt with 100 people.
But that's like, I guess, in its own category. Then that's because that's when we didn't do that.
I don't know. When I talk to people, I'm not talking to like 5,000
It
other
just depends
people.
on the person, I guess.
Yeah, it does definitely. Guys are more likely to do that.
Do what?
To when you're talk to multiple women. I just can't focus. Like I can only handle one. I don't know how people do like polygamous marriages. I just don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But it's a guy thing, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
A guy thing
I don't
is to
know.
talk
There's a
to
lot
bunch
of girls now. that are-
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
We
I
are
think it's all getting out of
unicorns.
hand.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I think it's all like out of control.
It is.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
so anyway, so you guys start because Mitchell asked you out.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first date?
Yep.
Do you
It was
really?
before we were. I don't know. It was before
like
we
when
were
we were in
dating.
the
We were in the
talking.
talking stage.
But here we are again. It was during the talking stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
You're trying it out, you know?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It
It's so
was.
funny to think back to because you literally.
So I didn't have my license yet. I was still young.
Ooh.
But
Because you were for the
had,
cougar.
just got
Yes.
her license, and
Yeah.
she followed the rule. You can't drive anyone. And so
My
you're,
parents had me.
You broke the rules?
no,
No, she didn't.
No,
So
but
we
then my
both
parents
got-
said I could, even though it was too early. So I
Wow.
technically did,
Yeah.
But with their
So
permission.
We got dropped off at the movie theater. We saw
Young
Star
love.
Wars.
Oh.
Did you love it, Ashley?
No,
No,
I
she
still
hate. I
don't
love Star
love it.
I do
Wars.
too.
Love Star Wars.
Right.
Not my favorite.
Then we walked over to Applebee's because right across the
We
street.
couldn't
That just makes
drive,
sense.
We walked.
Got picked up from Applebee's.
I've done
And
that
Mitchell
before.
only ordered French fries, which I was like, looking back now, you do not just eat French fries. You don't even like French fries.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
he doesn't eat French fries.
No.
Why did you order for the French fries?
Well,
Easy to eat?
Yeah.
Broke boy,
You know,
too.
I didn't have money.
Hey, Applebee's is expensive. Oh my gosh.
Yep. Just paid for a movie, too, so.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Adding up. Yeah.
Sad enough.
Okay, so that because we have both of you on today, we want to make sure we stay in time. So let's
I
look
have
at.
to get Delaney to take her to work.
You got to get Delaney
But,
at
like,
what time?
She has to be there by 3, so
Oh, we'll be
we're-
fine.
yeah, we're
yeah,
good.
we'll be way fine.
Okay, so let's look at the section between when you first started dating till now, right? So now you're engaged, moving on with life. Some of the greatest challenges that you guys had, some of the greatest obstacles that you guys had. Again, so you guys' advice obviously would be kind of go through the courting stage or go through the talking, whatever that stupid
Talking.
stage is.
No.
But anyway, through all of it, we're trying to help people figure out what does it look like to date well? What does it look like to build a relationship? So what were some of the things that you guys did well? Maybe what were some of your mistakes people could learn from?
Yeah.
Do you want me to start?
The stare down.
Yeah, you have to have the woman start. Good job, Mitchell. Because if you say something and it's wrong, you're in
you
trouble.
learned.
Oh my gosh.
Off to a great start in your marriage.
I think it's smart.
Yeah.
I would say something that we did well, but sometimes we didn't do well too, was like just continuously putting effort in, like, because it's easy to start just kind of like drifting off, like just getting comfortable. And so, like, I would say, like, just yesterday even, Mitchell came and surprised me at work once I got off with B&K cheese dogs. Like, just little things like that, like, still putting in the effort. I feel like that really helps, too, because it's, like, just makes you remember when you first started dating and stuff, too. But then...
So keep up the effort.
Yeah.
Like,
good.
consistent effort. But, like, there's been times, too, like, when we start slacking and we're, like, have to have a conversation, like, okay, this is what we can do better. This is what we've not been doing the best at. And just kind of going from there.
So communication, definitely, that's what I hear.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Are you guys good communicators?
I hate it.
You hate
hate it?
I
communicating?
hate talking about that stuff.
You've gotten really
I've
good
gotten
at
better, but I
Yeah.
hate it.
So when you guys
Really?
first got together, did you not talk very much at
just-
all?
no.
So you just kept talking or what?
it. No, like, we talk.
Yeah, but like if it was like a serious conversation, I wouldn't
Okay.
say my mind.
Did you ever have any of the awkward dates where
I
like
know. I want to know that
you
too.
didn't carry in on like
oh,
any
no,
of the
we always
conversation?
had
Or?
plenty to talk about, I feel like.
She can talk for hours, so
That's perfect with my job. I can literally talk to
I
random
can just
strangers.
sit there and just.
You don't have to say
She
anything.
just keeps conversation going. Yeah.
So you never had one awkward date? Never.
Not that I can think of. And even, like, if it was silent, it was just kind of, like, just vibing, you know?
Is that how it was?
Just vibing.
Like, it wasn't uncomfortable. I don't,
Yeah.
like, I feel like we've always been pretty comfortable around each other.
Aw.
Good.
so
Mitchell,
cute.
any challenges or even anything or any recommendations,
Yeah.
right? Both of them.
Challenges would be no one really had a serious relationship, so
Right.
there was like, we were the only ones, so we were kind of feel like we couldn't really look at anyone and be like, this is what we should be doing. We just kind of had to figure it out. I mean, we could like look at our parents and stuff, but there was no one our age that was doing
Yeah, like
Yeah.
at school and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And advice.
Because that's an uncommon thing. Like it's an uncommon
Yeah.
thing for people to be dating long term in high school.
Which was weird.
Well-
Like, we didn't really realize it till later on. And, like, even Delaney, like, recently was telling us, because we hung out, like, every single day, even in high school. And she was like, nobody does that. You guys are weird. I'm like, other people do it. Like, it's not, it wasn't just us. She was like, no, think back to high school. Who did you know that hung out, like, every day, like you guys did? And
How old is
I
Delaney?
did that. She's going to be a junior this year.
She's
She
16.
just turned 16.
Yeah, so
2
just
days
think
ago.
it. She'd be meeting her husband right now.
Yeah.
That's weird to think about.
So weird. Yeah.
I mean, if you think of it in those terms, I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
she would be like meeting her future husband right now.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Is she dating?
Isaac Wilson.
What?
Is she
Give
really?
him a shout out.
Oh, that would be
They're
so
so
cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Have they been dating long?
Oh crap! How long has it been? It's not been super long.
6 months.
6 months.
Your dad comes out of the production room.
He knows.
That's amazing. Hey, maybe she already did meet her husband.
Maybe.
I feel like
Maybe.
she has a good to look up to them
Right,
in
like
their
she's
relationship.
like she's got the example
Yeah, because you said that you guys didn't have one, but she does.
Yeah.
to watch you guys.
Be a
Right.
gentleman goes a long way.
Yeah.
Open
Be a
doors.
gentleman.
Yeah. No one. I feel like it's not
things.
common anymore.
To
No,
be a
it's not.
gentleman.
No. I mean, like, I was watching a video and it was like whether or not a guy should pay on the
Yes,
date.
I've seen
Yes.
that.
I'm
Or
like-
something
That was
similar.
a commercial at the movies that we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah. In what world does
Yeah, in what world would a guy not
Yeah.
pay?
But
A
Julie
lot of
never to me,
dates
he
that
was
I've
like,
been on.
Do what? We've already had that discussion. I know,
Oh,
but
that
that's
was about something else, but we cannot go
Yeah.
over it again.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. And then
he leaned over to me. He's like, "Is that even a question?" Because like
I
the waiter was
know.
the one asking if the checks were separate together, and I was like, "High five, Mitchell."
yeah, she did give me a high five. And I think doing different things, not getting in a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not
Yeah.
just, doing the same thing all the time, switching stuff up. And
Yeah.
So is one of you more spontaneous than the other?
depends.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. I feel like.
If I'm tired, I just want to like lay down. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I have more energy most of the time.
Introverts or extroverts? Which one are you guys?
Extrovert. Mitchell's
Yeah, I figured you were.
introvert.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like if you look at him, you would think the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
You would not look at these two and say, "Oh, that would be the introvert."
No, I thought you said extrovert.
She's an extrovert.
Yeah,
I would
introvert.
not think of her as an extrovert.
You wouldn't?
Not until you get to know her.
Well, that's true,
I
I,
mean,
guess.
Yeah, I mean, like in
Yeah.
school, she would have her books and just.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The
You're
funniest.
just shy,
Listen,
right? Shy? Is that what it
No,
is?
It's just like I don't know.
You just have a sweet demeanor.
she is the sweetest.
I
We
know.
played Cards Against Humanity. Is that what it was called?
Oh, no.
Up at the lake one time.
Yeah. That gets dangerous.
Am I allowed to say that? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It's a wild
I haven't
game.
laughed, honestly. I don't know if I've laughed that hard.
Really?
Ever in
I've
my
never seen
life
him laugh that hard.
or since.
I
Ever
want to
in
play
my
with
life.
you.
And to watch
cackling.
Ashley play
I bet.
was half the fun.
I bet.
She was like red. And she wouldn't
Mortified.
say, yeah, no,
Oh
she
my
wouldn't do
gosh.
it.
And
And I'm
everybody
like,
always gave me words with like cuss words.
Oh, I
Like
bet.
gave me all the cards, and then I'm like, Trey, you can read it.
yeah,
Like,
no,
I
and
don't
she's
know.
like the sweetest person you'd ever
Yeah.
know. That would be my point.
Yeah,
Like you wouldn't
yeah.
see that as a demeanor thing.
Yeah.
But it was honestly awesome. Like it
High
was,
school, I was an extrovert.
Yeah.
But
But I feel like even senior year, you were kind of more.
why
introverted a
why
little
have
bit.
you went to the
I
introvert
know.
side?
I was trying to be something I wasn't.
Okay. So it was
So-
more of a front than it really is who you
Yeah.
were. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So at what point did you realize that you were trying to do that?
Going into senior year, end of junior, senior year.
So you've changed then. So was that hard doing that when you were still in school? Because people thought one thing and then you were
Yeah.
actually another.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's when I started to like take my faith more seriously. And so, yeah, lost a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was about to say. I remember
Yeah.
you losing a lot of
Like
friends.
I would walk into school and my whole friend group that I used to hang out with would walk in, not say anything to me and be right next to me. and
Yeah.
so
Like lockers, literally.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
next
that's
to each other.
Oh,
terrible.
yeah. So
Yeah, so let's talk about that because so this week's message was, he's talking about this whole idea of really generational legacy when it comes to passing on faith.
Right.
Right. And like the responsibility of generational legacy. Right. So that Titus talks about what older men should do, what older women should do, what younger women should do. And really this essence, there's an expectation. So
Right.
there is an expectation that older men and older women will act differently than younger men and younger women and, all the way down. And there's this expectation that older men and older women will build into the younger generation, right? Like the idea of going back and really, I think Titus, Taylor, if he would add time, I think would hit on this. It wasn't just spiritual. I mean, it was like teach them how to be a gentleman.
Right.
Teach them how to be. Because again, I've said this, like, one of the things you don't recognize is how many older women are not teaching their daughters how to be wives.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, that's significant in my mind. Like, as a man, you want to marry somebody to be a wife.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They teach them how to be great at sports and great at careers and great at lots of other things. But the whole wife aspect of it all, I don't think it's taught. You know, I don't think, you know, even when I married Sherry, I mean, her mom was awesome, but her mom didn't teach her how to cook. Her mom didn't teach her any of those things. So I didn't know this until we got married. You know, we were the same way. I started dating when we were 15. I didn't know she couldn't cook. Yeah. You know, until she cooked one thing. I think it was macaroni or something.
Oh, yes.
But the point just is, it's like...
You learned real quick.
Again, should there be these expectations? Because I think we now live in a world where that has just been... Like, we don't need it anymore or don't want it anymore. Like, do young women want any of those things, or do young men want any of these things from an older generation? Or are they just looking at them saying, we don't need it. We can do it on our own. Yeah. So part of what I want to talk to you guys about is, one, the older generation is supposed to be somebody that you can look to, right? So somebody that you can, you know, get an example from. So you guys talked about no example in the high school that would help you, you know, go through a relationship. Talk about an older generation of people, whether it was your parents or whether it was other people, that could give you some sort of like, hey, this is something that we could look at and something that we could do. Did you seek that out? You know, did you, like, in your mind, did you like, okay, here's an older couple, we need to learn from them? Or was it just kind of looking at it from a distance? Because scripturally, it would say it has to go both ways. It would have to be the younger generation seeking out the older generation and the older generation being available. Right. Right. Those two things, you know, inside of it. So maybe talk about, and maybe this could be individually, you know, what does it look like individually? And then what did it look like collectively? Did you see it? Did you seek it out? Did you have somebody there? Do you still have somebody there with you? Or how did that even go, you know, and did you learn it from your parents? Or kind of give us a picture of that.
I would say, like, so it's kind of sad too. Like, you look at so many kids our age now, and like so many of their parents aren't together anymore. Yeah. Like, we're both so fortunate because we both have both of our parents still together, like the only people they've ever been with, like married wise. And even our grandparents on both sides of both of our families. So like, we've been able to see that. But I feel like personally for myself, I've grown up with parents, and I'm really blessed, but they have done such a great job at showing like what a Christian marriage looks like. And so like from both sides of it. So like, I've always grown up with a standard because I've seen how my dad's treated my mom. So I'm like, this, I'm not getting anything less than this. That's amazing. And so, and also with my mom, like she has been there like through our whole relationship, just helping me and just being there to listen, or like all of that. So I just feel really thankful that I've grown up seeing parents that have been an example, and then are also like so supportive of us and just like genuinely want what's best for us. So,
do you think that some of your expectation of what your future husband would be came from your father?
Oh, for sure. 100%. Yeah. Like, I just love the way, like, I see him treat my mom. So it's like, that's always been my standard. I'm like, I'm not accepting anything less than the way that I've seen him be an example for me type of thing. So, yeah.
And so do you think that from the standpoint of with your mom, do you think your mom, and again, this isn't to say good or bad, but do you think in those conversations was it intentional? Because I'm trying to help an audience understand, because sometimes it naturally happens, right? So some people naturally have a good relationship with their parents, and they kind of just naturally talk about it. Did you guys have that, or did your mom specifically seek out and say, okay, I want to train you to be a wife someday, so I'm gonna do some certain things with you that you might not see that that's important today, but I want to train you up. So I'm going to specifically, you know, go through these processes to help you become a great wife, or to help you with the expectations of what is a godly wife. You know, did like she seek you out? Did you seek her out, or did it just naturally happen?
I feel like she's always just been very intentional. Like she intentionally like wants to hear how I'm doing, how things are going, like what things can be better. And yeah, I feel like it's been very intentional on her part. And then like I know that I can come to her about things too. So I feel like it's been a lot on her part, like coming here to me and being like, okay, I'm here for you type of thing. And then it's because of that, I feel like I'm able to go to her.
Okay.
Like an open relationship. Like that's
so it was more of a organic training than it was a specific training, right? Meaning that
happened on its own.
Do what?
It happened on its own.
Yeah, meaning like you would ask, like, I have a question. What does it look like to be a wife? Or maybe you're going to ask these things someday and your mom was there to be able to answer the question.
But I also feel like she's purposely like talked to me about things too, like to prepare me. So I feel like kind of both.
Okay, good.
That's cool.
Yeah. Mitchell, how about for you?
Same thing with the parents. So, I mean, I've had an example of what a marriage should look like, you know, and putting God first in your marriage. And, I mean, we've had foster kids and parents were missionaries. So like, you know, it's very evident to me, like what surrounding your wants are for what God wants for you. So I feel like that's kind of helped me realize what a relationship looked like. And then I feel like I have a really good relationship with my parents. So, I mean, sometimes they'll ask me, you know, and try to like help me with what's going on, or I can go to them and I know that they'll be there for me. But my mom also, I hated it, but she used to make us cook dinner every week.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, Jen's a big trainer. Like that's kind of her.
Yeah, and like when I was little, like she taught me how to sew. So.
We have the same birthday.
Are
His
you
mom and
Jen,
I.
really?
Yeah, and the same name. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so, and then my dad has always taught me, you know, like how to work on a house and how to do all that stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah, see, Jen and Sherry went through the same thing together. It's called shepherding a child's heart or something like that. And I mean, it was like serious.
Oh, wow.
Like serious. Like they need to learn these things. They need to do these things. And I mean, it was like.
So he learned those things.
Well, I don't know how it played out in their relationship, but I mean, the shepherding the child's heart would just say, it's your job as a wife to train your daughters to be wives. And there's a role. Yeah. And that wasn't very popular. Yeah. So Sherry would teach a class here called Shepherding a Child's Heart and teach people how to be wives. Oh, man. Nobody liked it. Well, she's just like, you need to learn to cook, clean, take care of your husband, do these things. And they're like, wait. Like, that's not. And again, she would go over the whole, like, biblically, the role of a wife is to take care of the house. Now, Proverbs 31 says she worked and took care of the house, like did it, but it wasn't in opposite order, right? Proverbs 31 says she took care of her house, she took care of her kids, and she went and worked, you know? And so she would teach that concept, and no, it was not accepted very well.
Well, I feel like now it'd be even worse.
Yes, today.
Yeah. So for a lot of young women that would come to her and go through that class, she'd be like, oh no.
That'd be not
because
fun to sit through.
Because it's just different. But in their mind, they were, you know, and Jen went through the same thing. Deb Victor is the one who led it, you know, and essentially said, like, we have to train our kids. Like, if we're going to get there, you have to. And it sounds like yours happened organically. I know with your mom, it wasn't always organic, you know, where she was going to be like, that was my point. Like, there's going to be a specific training. Like, there's some skills that you guys need. If you're going to be a husband someday or you're going to be a wife someday, there are some skills or some things that you need to know, you know, and to be part of that, like that, being a gentleman, that's something that's taught. Yeah. That's something that you watch somebody do and you learn it and it's an expectation.
Yeah, because it's not seen anywhere around the world today.
That's my point. Yeah. But I mean, Mitchell wouldn't understand how to be a gentleman at first if his father wasn't one. Yeah. And second, if his father didn't hold him to a standard of being a gentleman. The same with his mother. Like, how do you treat women, right? And how do you handle being around women? I mean, that's taught. Yeah, good parenting. And so that's my point. It's something that's like, we have to teach it because the world is not teaching people how to be a gentleman and they're teaching, right?
Yes. It's just funny because it's like complete opposite of that.
Right. Well, I mean, and it's teaching. Go ahead.
I would get made fun of for in
bet.
high school
And
for.
there was so many girls that were like, he treats you so good. And I'm like, this is how he's supposed to treat
Yeah, right,
you. Like,
right.
what?
Right.
I would get crap for it all the time.
Right. No,
They
I
always
would
called
agree.
you whipped.
Yeah,
No, I know.
I
That's
bet.
it.
I
Yeah.
bet. You heard all those names.
Well, but again, that's the thing that we got to change. So that's why I brought it
Right.
up. So one, so you guys saw a role. So you saw the Titus model to a certain extent, where you're the older generation went to the younger generation. What do we do, or in you guys' mind? So you guys are an exception to the rule. You both said it. You both have Christian parents in the same home with a purpose, and they're pouring into their kids. What about the rest of the generation of people? What does a young girl do when she doesn't have a father at home? What does a young man do when he doesn't have a father at home? What does it look like, or what advice can we give, to a younger generation that doesn't have, because honestly, that's the normal, right? You guys would be considered abnormal today.
Yeah.
Parents, both parents in the home, both parents caring, and both parents training. Right. Like that,
Right.
that would be abnormal. So how do we curb this, or how do we help get this on the right track? Because I would hear both of you say a number of your friends don't even know what this is like, right? Like what you just said, they would have no idea what that looks like. So what do you, in you guys' mind, how do we help young girls your age, young men your age to understand this if they don't have fathers and mothers that are giving them to them? What can we do, or what can you guys do, or what does this look like to be able to help change this, or are we just screwed? I mean, because honestly, sometimes I've got to this place of just saying, we talk about a lot of solutions, but as long as it keeps going down this road, we're screwed.
It's looking pretty doomsday.
So did that
Pretty rocky.
Did that question make sense? Because we are dealing with generationally a lot of people who don't have, those examples. So thoughts, Ashley, since you're the talker? So I mean, maybe advice to...
I have some thoughts.
Okay.
So I think, as it says in Titus, like if it's not your own parents, it would be a Christian mom or something like that. So I guess if they're in the church, then the older women in the church should be seeking them and helping them. But if not, then to look for somebody that you've bonded with, or just somebody that can help you.
Yeah, well, that'd be a great question. So Ashley, do you think the majority of young girls your age are in church?
Yeah.
No.
Because that was my point. Like, I would agree with you. So, I just wonder, are they not even in church?
Oh, probably not.
No, there's so many that aren't.
So other than that, I don't know.
So I guess it goes back to we're
Make
screwed.
a TikTok and help them.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like so many people our age anyways are like, if they don't have an example of something, like they're looking at social media or like they're searching for it. Like they know there's a possibility for something to be different, but they're searching for it in the wrong places. And it's not like genuinely good advice that people are just putting out there kind of thing. So they're getting the wrong ideas from it and thinking they have to be somebody they're not too, I think. But like if they don't have that example growing up, I think the biggest thing is for them to see an example. Like, I don't know really, like it's so hard to just like living that out. Like we always pray that like we can be an example for somebody, like even one person. And so it's like, I feel like for us, because we grew up seeing an example of it, and that is what changed it so much for us and like put us on the right track. But it's like other people, like you'll hear all the time, like, know your worth, all this kind of stuff. What's that look like, though? Actually seeing what that looks like is a completely different thing than just telling somebody something.
Yeah.
So I think being able to actually physically see an example of it and just see how people interact differently than, like, what you're being told, I guess.
Right. And that one, your friend said that he was being so nice. So clearly they're looking at your relationship and seeing something different. So maybe down the road when they get in a bad relationship or something happens, and they'll know this isn't right because of what you said. Yeah. And then go to your Facebook page or Instagram or whatever, TikTok, and look to see how you're living your life.
What?
What do you mean what?
Is that what you just said? Like that's the only way they're going to be able to see how she lives her life is going to her TikTok?
No, I just said that would be a way that they would.
No, I was like, maybe this is true. Maybe this is true. Maybe everybody's like, I want to see how Mitchell's living, so I'm going to go look at his TikTok.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Or whatever.
People do that though. People like post stuff about relationships and stuff on TikTok.
Really?
Christian relationships.
Are you on TikTok?
What's the?
I've been looking at like wedding ideas. That's it.
Sadie
Are you on it?
No, not Sadie.
Are you on it?
No, I don't have
Blonde
anything.
hair. They have a bunch of babies, girls.
Savannah
Yes.
something.
Yes. And the guy that used to be on.
Duck Dynasty?
Nope. No.
I love Duck
I know.
Dynasty.
No, not her. No.
Yes.
It's somebody else. But they do it. They show a good example of Christian relationship.
And you think, again, we
so
are going to get
funny?
way off the subject here. You're telling me that somebody would go on their phone to look for how to, oh my
You
God.
can
Things
Google
have
it.
changed.
Yeah. I Google.
It's bad. It's so bad.
The Bible is not the first resort.
No.
Or even like, hey guys, you want to talk? Like in
No
a
kidding.
relationship of,
No.
No, that's all through the
They would definitely, I think, do that first before they would ask
It was more
her to
like
talk.
I feel like in high school, like people would talk more, but it's like once you're out of high school,
It's
I feel like
weird.
it's harder.
Yeah.
Like
so you're
people-
saying
I
if they
know.
don't put their relationship on social media, right? Like how they're doing their relationship,
Okay.
that's how people are going to learn from them. So if they don't do it,
I mean, not necessarily.
well, that's what we said.
I think
everybody's
she's
looking
meaning
for.
like if you like aren't around them in like,
Yeah.
real life, I guess.
Yeah.
Like obviously still in real life, like when you're with people, yeah.
In
But maybe
real
like
life.
in real, like
Maybe
here,
this girl
yeah.
went to college and then she got into that relationship and then she remembers what she said. So then she would go back because she's thinking of her and just see if she has anything on her page.
Yeah, that's just a huge surprise.
Or you think she's
Like I
following-
would just assume like whoever you're around or whoever you're with, like you're gonna seek those people out and you're gonna be like, hey Mitchell, like I'm
Unless she
struggling.
doesn't have somebody like that
Yeah.
around her.
That's my point. Like I just so weird to me. Like
Yeah.
or I would call you and like, hey, you want to get together.
But like,
Times
what if it
have
wasn't
changed.
somebody that I was like super close with?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
So you're giving into all of what Nick has preached for
Yeah.
all of his life.
It's
Is
true.
that from a social media perspective, I mean, he's saying like we could have huge influence if you put
Yes.
more of that stuff out there because people are looking at it. I'm like, who the frick is looking at
They
it?
say-
Because
yeah.
I wouldn't think anybody
Yeah.
would go searching for anything. Like I just
Yeah.
don't see that.
Oh, yeah. Like
Like,
online
that just
church
completely
and stuff.
surprised me. Like maybe a recipe, but not like on how to. You know what I'm saying? Not like
No.
I'm
You
just.
Google everything.
Who's you?
I feel like I'm not just me. I feel like a lot of people Google stuff, look on TikTok for stuff. That's how the people learn stuff.
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay.
Telling you, times have changed.
No, you're right. But so we got to get somewhere with this. So Mitchell, your thoughts on, because I think we would agree with this, maybe. A lot of your friend group probably isn't at a place where spiritually they're even where they need to be.
Oh no.
Right? Like,
No.
so part of our problem is number one, they don't have parents that are giving them examples
Right.
of what a godly marriage looks like. And they're not in relationship with anybody that's going down that road to begin with. Right? So how do we help this problem? I guess, first of all, why aren't we reaching your generation? Why can't we reach your friends? Why aren't they coming to church?
Selfishness.
Well, actually,
oh, you got an answer.
I do. So, he talked about how, the older generation should reach a younger generation. I feel like the younger generation now doesn't listen to the older generation because they have the mindset of it's different now than it was, so you don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that the younger generation that has it, not figured out, but,
They think they have.
Yes.
They-
Yeah.
They know everything.
the younger generation that's going to the Bible for their information, I think those should be the people who are giving advice to the people our age,
Okay.
because I feel like, even for me, like if I were to go to a small group and I had a 6-year-old leading it and he was saying about how in high school.
A 60-year-old?
Yeah,
like
just
me.
An example.
I see what you're saying. You didn't want to say
you said
50 because you knew that was my
I thought you
age.
said
But
6-year-old.
I thought he said 6.
no, he said
I want to
60.
listen to a 6-year-old. Okay, if
I
I'm,
know. That's why I laughed so hard.
I was like, I want to listen to a 6-year-old. What do they
That's
know?
why I laughed as hard as I did. I'm like
You
6.
wouldn't listen to an older person.
No, because I mean,
What?
yeah, you went through it, but I feel like we have the mindset of it wasn't in what today's society is, so
Yes.
it's not applicable.
Okay.
You know? You don't think so?
No.
I don't. Okay.
No, you should share
fine.
this because I think you're.
Yeah.
I think
Keep
you're
going.
right.
Keep
I
going.
agree.
So like so Trey, my younger
Yeah.
brother, for example, you know, his friends are, you know, want nothing to do with church. You say church and they run away.
Right.
Right. So me and we've talked about how can we get them not in church, but how can
Yeah.
we get them to know
Yeah.
about God?
Yeah.
So like Isaac and I were leading this small group with them, and lately it's been that small group, like we're going through starting point, but we kind of rail off and talk about just random things, you know?
Yeah.
Because these guys, unfortunate as it is, like they don't have any role models,
Right.
you know?
So sad.
And so like I'm only a couple years older than them, but in a sense, I feel like I'm trying to be their role model for them because they have nothing to look to. And then they're grown up in a home where they never go to church. They never, you know, their parents are divorced or they fight or they, you know, they're always drunk or,
Right.
you know, all that stuff. So it's like, how can I, even though I have no idea what I'm doing, you know, like, I'm still trying to figure it out
Right.
really hard. But
Right.
like, I feel like if people our age that do have a general understanding of the Bible, I mean, because I don't know a lot about the Bible. I mean, I know a
No,
decent
right.
amount, but
Right.
but I'm still able to. I know more than them, so I'm still able to share what I know. And I feel like, I mean, like there's one kid there who like he is an atheist, so
Right.
he wants,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
he doesn't believe in anything,
Right.
but he enjoys coming because it's not. I mean, well, I try to like preface that I'm not pushing faith on them,
Sure.
but I want them to know about it and how it looks like, what it looks like in my life. So yeah.
It's like building that relationship with them, and then like
Yeah.
having a relationship is easier to get like into them to tell them about Jesus.
Yeah.
I just think that's a huge switch. I mean, when I was their age, I was seeking out everybody that had already made it. I looked at somebody and I said, I want to be like that guy. So I'm going to go meet with him. I'm going to have him mentor me because he did it. Like he made it. So I
Yeah.
want somebody who's made it. I mean, my whole philosophy was I wanted to be a millionaire by the time I was 45 years old. And so I went out and there's, you know, in Monroe, I knew this guy and this guy and this guy. I'm like, I'm going to meet with him every week and I'm going to figure out how to be a millionaire.
I don't think people do that anymore.
Well, I just don't get, I mean, but again, like logically, let's
Right.
think logically. Don't you think it makes sense to
Yes.
go to somebody who's already made it?
Yeah.
Right? Like they are where you want to be someday and go through that. But that's what Mitchell's saying.
Yeah, and then people don't know where they want to be.
That's my point. So I was going to go back to, I think the point today is they don't want to be anywhere. Like they're not searching out for this. Like I had very specific, I wanted to be this, I wanted to be like this. And so I'm going to go search me up. Where today I think it's like, I just want to exist. Like I just want to
Yeah.
get through. I just want to make it, you know, by.
I kind of wonder if it's like, because I feel like you hear so much from, like going off what you had said, is I feel like a lot of kids hear from an older generation, like, oh, things used to be so different whenever I was in that spot, or we had it way harder than you. So I feel like the kids are probably automatically shutting down, like, okay, then what are you not going to teach me then? Because
Right, because you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, like, okay, if I have it so different, then how are you going to teach me kind of thing? So I think some people have that mindset of it. So maybe that's why.
Are you about to
Are you
sneeze?
going to cry? Oh, sneeze.
Sneeze is so weird.
I don't sneeze because then it's a mess to clean up.
She holds hers in. She holds hers in.
I do too. That's what I do.
I do. I'm
She's
just
gonna
like,
have her brain aneurysm.
every
No, I
time
like
I
hold
say
him in
that,
because
he
then I
says
got to
that.
clean up a mess afterwards.
Well, you didn't hold that in though.
I did
I
too.
felt like he sneezed.
No,
He
it
probably
kind
just
of.
got all in his hat.
That's why he put it down.
I'm sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
What was I saying?
Yeah, now you got her off track.
I get distracted.
Got her off track.
No, you were talking about like this disconnect because people were saying like the kids can't relate because an old man's saying, well, we had it so much harder and it was so much different and we're so much better than you.
Well, I'm not saying necessarily in every situation, but I feel like...
No, I would agree. I think that happens a lot.
Yeah.
There's quite a few people that probably feel that way. So I think that's probably why they go to somebody like Mitchell, like a little bit older, but has like had some more experience, but it's like they're still not getting that. Like, not saying not saying that you don't have anything to teach them, but I mean
years of wisdom.
Yeah, like they're not getting it from the way older group of people because they just are shut down from them automatically.
So what about like during school? Like, do people look at the teachers and think that they're like they couldn't learn anything from them? Not necessarily like academics. Not necessarily academics, but like, do you look at them in the same way you would as somebody giving you advice?
I think it depends on the teacher.
I hated pretty much all my teachers.
Me too.
There was a select few that I liked and the few that I liked actually like wanted to be there for the kids.
Yeah. I think that's the difference now too, because there's so many teachers that like we've had. Not necessarily, I'm not saying again, not all teachers, but there were quite a few that just like would read a PowerPoint that they copied from Quizlet. Like it wasn't even their own material.
No.
Or you just walk into class and they're like, today's lessons on the computer.
Canvas.
Get on the computer.
That's all it is. Just be a teacher.
You could be a substitute easy.
Oh yeah, substitute.
But like then you had the teachers like that really did stick out to you because they actually cared. Like Jan Hildebrand, love her.
Shout out.
Yes, love her so much. She was one of my favorite teachers, and she just genuinely cared about every kid that she had. And you could see the difference, too. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say, again, I mean, these are maybe the things that we should pray about because I think it's an epidemic problem. Like, I think that... Again, you just think of the minority that's sitting in front of you right now. Like this is a minority of kids that have had good guidance, that have, and again, not have made perfect choices. Because that's the thing I want to make sure that we don't put a pass in this podcast is that, I mean, Mitchell and Ashley aren't perfect people and have never not made mistakes. The point just is they had examples to go to when they made mistakes, right? Like that's what we're all trying to figure out. We're all trying to figure out where to go when we mess up. And so they had a place to go, but it's a minority. The rest of their friend group and Isaac's friend group, that age group of people, lots of them are struggling with just finding their own identity. They're not in church. They don't have role models to look at, and so when we talk about this is the thing I always say about when Taylor was talking about scripture, this week with the whole Titus thing, this works if you live in a Christian culture.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But the problem is you're saying this to a church of people living in a generation of where Christianity isn't evident at all, right? Like these things are so far removed. This whole idea of how a Christian man should act and a Christian woman should act, and they can go down and help. I mean, this is like inside of a Christian environment where they're learning these things.
So you're saying that like it's being taught, but it's being taught to people who aren't even living a Christian life?
Well, I'm just saying, how do we do this? Like, I'll just give you an example. Like, what are they supposed to do with it? I mean, their friends aren't even in church and don't even know Jesus.
Yeah.
And we're saying, I'm not saying all your friends.
Well, and when you invite them, they don't. I mean,
that's my point.
After a certain point, I mean, I've reached out.
No, that's my point.
And it's just always a no. So at a certain point, it's
like even when you remove every barrier, like I will pick you up. Like I'm here at your house. Come outside. No, right. That's my point. Yeah. So we're trying to apply this, right? So this is what I'm trying to think of. So we're trying to say, like, take this Titus 2 model and pass it on. Well, who are they going to pass it on to? Yeah. Right? Because they don't have, like, who's going to be this? Now, they are, and you guys can elaborate on this. So they're helping out children's youth areas here at Life to be able to build into a generation of young people, right? But the people around them are like, that don't mean nothing, right? And how do we move forward? Because I think there's such a big gap right now. That's the problem. There's such a huge gap of the way that it should be to the way that we want it to be. And so I think that's what we really have to pray about, because I don't think that there is an answer. I would agree with Mitchell and Ashley. I'd agree with Isaac and Bree. I've tried to invite him. We try to get him here. We try to help, but it's like, nobody cares.
That's sad.
Would that be fair to say? I mean, it's not like nobody cares. I don't.
It's pretty close to nobody. There's a
I feel
select
like there's
few.
just so many people like our age that just want to do their own thing. Like they just don't care.
No accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah, they live a shallow life, and they're fine with living a shallow life.
Right.
I feel like they just grew up with like instant gratification. I really do think it's something like that because you guys are used to the phones, like more so than I was or even grew up to be. And with the phone, there's everything at your fingertips. You don't really have to have, any relationships with anybody if you really don't want to. Everything's on your phone. So you're isolating yourself.
Do you think that's what leads to the shallowness? Because I've heard
know.
Isaac talk about that before, because that's even weird to me.
The phone?
No, like the shallowness aspect.
Oh.
Like how friends or people like that he knows his age are just living this shell of a life, and it's a shallow.
Yeah, it's
like nothing there.
It's sad. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
honestly,
that's what he would say.
Like breaks my
sad.
heart seeing these people that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Get to a point where they just are fine with being numbed out to the world all the time, and that's enough for
So you
them.
can't even like have a conversation with them or anything?
Yeah, but it's shallow.
Yeah, it's
Right?
it's surface level.
Surface
at
level.
best,
Right.
if you can.
Right.
And whenever like I've been with them, that friend group, when they do hang out, they're on their phone until they're under the influence of something. Then they start to talk.
Yes. Yeah. No, because that gives them a way to talk because they're so used to being on their phones, they don't know how to not be on their phone.
So they got to get high
That's what
to
I think.
talk?
Yes.
Yeah, drink. Yeah.
Yes.
I truly believe this.
In every case. Yes.
Seriously.
No, yeah, because I used to drink to like come out of my shell more. Because I used to not. I know it's hard to imagine, but yes, because when you are so used to your phone, you can, like we said one time, like when we're out, like say we're out to dinner, it's really quiet. Somebody picks up their phone because they're awkward. You know what I mean? Or in a car or something. You just turn to it in moments of awkwardness. And I feel like we've gotten used to that.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with
Right,
you. But what I am saying is here's what I think. So maybe this is what we should put out there. I think that if we could put it out there where like a call to young Christian adults, to get together. I mean, I think it's going to start with that because that's the other part of it is that I think you have to get young Christian adults because I think part of the thing we're like, go out and evangelize, but you really need a group of young Christian adults that you can relate with, that are the same age, that you can spend time together. And so that's why I've said, great that you guys are doing a small group, but they should be in a small group, of their age, right? And if it's somebody more age appropriate teaching instead of somebody older, then that's what we need to do. Because I do think that there is a collectiveness of bringing those people together that at least gives them what they need to get through, right? And then we can keep praying for those because honestly, what are you going to do to somebody that doesn't care?
Right. It's
other
hard.
than pray for them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just nothing else we can do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because they don't want it for themselves.
Right.
That's what I mean. You can be salt and light,
Right.
To the world by the way that you live. But at the same time, if we bring young Christian adults together, because I think that's the other thing that's maybe missing today is that
there's no community. I feel like.
That's
I
what I'm
don't
saying.
even really like at our own church. Like I don't really even know anybody our age very much. Like genuinely, like I don't really know anybody. Like
right, but that would be my point. So my point has got to start with a desire for young Christian couples to be in community.
Yeah.
Right.
Or just young Christian singles.
Either way.
They should have
But my
their own
point is
youth, or not youth, but the whole young adult thing.
Anything that just gives them the ability to gather.
Right.
And I do think it's different. I think when you're a couple, you want to be together. Like, I never wanted to be, like Sherry and I did one small group together and I'm like, that's it.
It was awful.
Well, I'm just like, I ain't meeting with a bunch of women. Because you sat in a room and all the women talked and all the men were like,
Oh, yeah, I bet.
nobody ever said anything.
Yeah.
So I always did men's groups since I've been 20 years old. So I did men's groups and she did women's groups.
Yeah, because it's like not beneficial for you.
Well, I don't know. The men never talk. So I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I got to get in a group where the guys are going to say something because the women just tend to talk and they have their whole thing. Does that ever happen with you guys? Yeah, right. The women tend to take over. Either way, whatever it looks like, an opportunity to get to community. Right. So from Life Church's standpoint, us offering it and you guys seeking it.
Yeah, that's what needs to happen.
And trying to get it out there to get people out there. And honestly, even if it's like a group of people, so because what would it be like if somebody your age, Ashley, but she's not married, but she could come to a young adult group and she could learn at that aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she is coming. So we could just say, you know what, God, here's what we're going to do. We've tried. They're not coming. But for the ones who are, because I'll bet you today that there are young adults here searching.
Oh, yeah.
for
Here
sure.
at the church?
Yeah, at the
like
church.
Yes.
Even the people like you're explaining about, like, that just don't want to have anything to do with it. It's like some of them just are numbing themselves out to the world, but like they still want to feel something though. Like it's so weird. It's hard to understand. Like, I just want to understand it.
No.
Yeah.
Sounds like we just need to have a thing here.
Well, no, I mean, I would agree with her. I mean, part of the reason that people numb themselves out of the world because they are searching and they can't find it.
Right.
Right? Like part of that is that, I mean, you could explain that better than anyone, but I think a lot of people go down those roads. But anyway, that would be some things that we could be praying about, some things that give you guys a chance. Because the thing that I want to do over the next 5 years is give young adults a platform. Because you can say salt and light, right? Like we can say we want them to be salt and light, but if there's no platform, how does anybody know?
Right.
Right. So we have to say, like, how do we give young adults, you know, a platform to be able to, so people can see, so people can be a part of, so some, you know, people can get involved with, so that Ashley would know that there actually are other young adults here, right? Because you
I
wouldn't
know
know.
they are. I just don't know them personally.
Right.
No, I know, but the point would be is that like if young adults, so back to what Titus says, if you have a heart to give people let's just look at it this way. There are a lot of young women who don't have what you have and desire it. Right. So what do we do about it? Right. And so what would it look like for Ashley to get involved with some of those and maybe maybe Heather could be, you know, the mom or help out with some of these other people that they don't have it. You know what I mean? Like that's something that I think, you know, could be out there. Cause I know when I used to do all the kids small groups, you know, Mitchell was a part of this. Like that's what Sherry did. She was the mom.
Yeah.
She cooked. She loved on them. She taught. I mean, that's what she did. She was
Example.
the mom, you know, because a lot of them didn't. And so there was an example or an opportunity, but it was a platform.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I taught the small group.
Yep.
She was the mom, you know, and it was a platform to be able to see, for them to see Sherry and I interact, because that was part of our goal. Our goal was to say, I want you to see a loving family, right? So I want you to see, if you've never seen what it looks like for two people to love each other, I want you to see Sherry and I. If you've never seen what a household looks like that loves the Lord, this is what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like give the platform. And so I think for this is what we're trying to figure out. It's like a platform to be able to do that stuff and to be able to see those things, you know, happen in that way. So that's what we're going to be praying for, you know, with you guys. Dan, do we have questions?
It's time. Yeah, we have two. We have two questions.
I'm looking around.
Well, I know that one of them is,
so
do
there's
you
a
pray
question
together?
time.
Yeah.
There's a question time for you guys that comes in
one
from
of
our
them
audience.
do you pray together?
Yep.
Every night before bed.
Do what?
Kaylin Griffin asks, do you pray together?
Every
Yes.
night before bed?
Right
Really?
before bed.
Do you really?
On the phone, you call each other and do it?
Like FaceTime and pray together.
Aww.
We
When
try
did you
to.
start doing that?
Sometimes I fall asleep too early.
Yeah. I fall asleep so quick. When did you start doing that?
We've
It's been
tried.
a while.
Yeah.
Like a long time.
We've tried to do it. Forever.
As much as
Yeah,
your, as
like,
much as your
it's like I
Snapchat
remember.
street.
Don't have
Doesn't have
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Yeah. Okay. What was the other one?
That was the only one I had.
Oh, they
Okay.
said there were two.
Oh, I guess somebody did message in. That was it. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
So
Put the number up.
Yeah. So let's end it with this. So we always end it with advice, right? So
Okay.
what advice would you guys give? So we'll start with you, Jenny. Our conversation today, but based upon Titus, based upon what we're talking about,
Right.
is we got to figure out how to be we got to figure out how to be salt and light, right? We got to figure out how we can be on display for people to be able to help, you know, and that we have this huge gap right now. I mean, I think that's what we're saying. There's this huge gap. We're seeing a lot of kids that don't have what you guys had.
Right.
What can we do? What can you do? How can we be better to help, you know, mentor, close the gap, do the things that God's called us to do?
I think if anybody's in a position or has a platform, then they should use it. So coaches, so my cheerleading coach when I was in high school, her and her husband took us in and like did Christian things with us. So just like what you were
Did they
saying.
really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. We would have small groups every certain night, and then we would do stuff before the game and after, like praying or something. I can't really remember, but yeah. So
That's
I
awesome.
think just things like that, what you just said, people need to step up.
Yeah. Use a platform. Good. Mitchell?
I think right now, especially for people our age, is kind of get a community and open your home or your parents' home. If you live with your parents.
Or your new apartment.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's like, it just opens like a vulnerability kind of when you're doing it in a house together and not, somewhere else. But so focus on community.
Yeah, good.
I would say, like, especially for girls, set a standard, because I think there's a lot of people that are just taking whatever they can get. And so it's like, if you have a set standard for yourself, then you're not going to accept anything less than that. So, like, you're going to be getting what you deserve. So
Right.
I'd say set a standard.
Yeah. I would say be intentional. I mean, I've always said, like, if you're not going to be intentional and it's not in your plan or it's not in your time, you're never going to get it done. So I would say, if we want to follow the model of what Scripture says, it says, and we have to seek it out.
Yeah.
So I should be, I've always said this, should always be seeking somebody ahead of you, somebody with you, and somebody behind you, right? And they should always have that. So your week should always look like, I'm seeking somebody's wisdom, somebody ahead of me. And that can look in a lot of different ways. Reading books, listening to podcasts, talking to an actual person. There should be somebody that you're mentoring at your own age, like somebody that you're connecting with, that you can learn from, and you can share life. Because there's life experience between, you're right, the guy that's down the road, it's hard to say, I want to kill my kids right now because they're 3 years old and I don't know how to raise them. You know what I mean? Like, that person down the road can say so much, but they're still not in it, with you. And so it's fun to be able to share experiences with the people that are around you, and then always, if we don't go back and bring a generation along with us, then what legacy will you ever leave? And so I think if you practice those principles and you're intentional about it, and the only way you're going to be intentional is in your calendar. Show me in your calendar where you're being intentional with those 3 levels of relationships. And I think that's when God starts opening up the door. So I think part of our problem in the world today is we talk too much. We talk a lot about what the problem is, but we're not intentional at all about changing it. I'm like, let's talk, but let's walk out of here with a plan. So then this is what I think God does. Then I think our obedience opens up the hearts of people who were hardened.
Yeah.
Things we could never get to.
Right.
Because we're doing our part, right? I think part of the problem with us today is we talk so much about the problem, but we're not trying to do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like doing the things that we can do. You can go ahead and you can ask somebody and you can go back. Like, you can do that. Do what only you can do.
Right.
And then trust God for the things that you can't do, which is what we've talked about. You've invited, you've tried, they're not coming. It's a generation of people that are lost, generation of people who don't have parents to be able to look at. I can't fix that. Like, we can't fix that problem.
Right.
There's no fixing that problem. But we can, by being intentional, allow God to fix the things that we could never do. So that would be mine. Be intentional. Go ahead of you. Find somebody that's been down the road. Find somebody around you that you can share life with. And always go back and bring a generation along with you, in your journey. Okay, end us up with a number.
All right. So our phone number that is on the screen, that is 403-8383. Yes, I got it right.
You said 403. It's 408.
What did I?
I got it right.
408-8383. I feel like I did say that, but anyways.
No, you said 403.
Oh.
But either way, it's okay. You got it.
I missed. I didn't round out the 8s. I just left them hanging.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's okay. You got it.
Extra.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I missed the C's on
The
it.
other
Okay.
side of it.
But we have this phone number, just like what we texted for the question that have you prayed or do you pray together? We send those questions to find out for our next guest. We ask for you to ask us any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to be a guest, if you know a guest, really anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we put this out on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and sharing
Wednesday
or Thursdays, yeah.
Oh.
Depends on my day.
People are like dying for the download on Wednesdays.
Oh, well,
Do you know
can.
that?
Yes, you can download it. Yes, it's always available on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Wednesdays at 12 p.m.
Okay.
But when we put it out on social media to share,
Oh,
comment, and like that, anything like that, because that is a way of evangelizing.
Right. Right. So yeah, that's the way you can help support this is again, one, if you see some of these comments, take them and share them because once you're in your post, it's a way, again, something I didn't think was true, but these words in other people's feeds can be something that, can help, and again, get more people to listen. Now that we have you guys on a guest, I'm sure that our popularity is now skyrocketing, right? We're going to be
because of Mitchell.
We're going to be out the roof. So if anybody wants their autograph, they'll be here on Sunday.
Your boss is already expecting one.
In the back, waiting to be able to get autographs. Hilarious. So again, Ashley and Mitchell, thank you. Again, we're going to be praying for you guys as you go through this journey because I've always said, like, if we can help young people get it right, like, and you guys can be salt and light into the world, I just think that's the way we're going to help change things. Is just keep raising up a generation to change a generation. So thanks for being here. We'll be praying for you guys. And again, thanks to everybody who is either watching or listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.